Flosstube. I'm back for my second video. I uploaded my first video and it's been about 12 hours and I already have 20 subscribers, which is amazing. I never thought that that would happen. So thank you very much. It means a lot. So today, seeing as last time was just an awful lot of rambling and very little stitching, I thought I would show as much of my haul or stash acquisitions over the last couple of months that I can remember. There have been a couple of threads and things that I've bought for charts that I've already started, so I haven't included those, but these are kind of patterns and other threads and things that I've bought just because. And I thought I'd also show the 2 projects that I've been working on this week as well. So I thought I'd start by showing you my whips. There's only 2 of them, as I said. I tend to start an awful lot of things. I have startitis quite a lot. So I'll start an awful lot of projects and then I tend to work on just one until I either get bored of it, or so sometimes it's only for a day, or until that project is finished. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing at the moment. The only project that I will be working on every single week is my Doctor Who one, for Whovians United, every Saturday with the new episode of Doctor Who. And oh my god, this week's episode was amazing. I'm loving it. So I think I'll show that one first. I've literally just finished watching this week's episode of Doctor Who, and this is my progress on my project so far. It's taking me an awful long time because I'm getting really suckered into the series rather than stitching. So I may put a few more stitches in this tonight once I finish recording, but it's getting kind of late, so I might just go to bed. I'm not sure yet. So the chart that I'm stitching is the 9th, 10th and 11th Doctor by Wee Little Stitches on Etsy. And if I remember to do it this time, I will post a link in the description down below, but I did forget to do that in my last video. So I will try and remember this time. But it's Wee Little Stitches on Etsy. And she has so many different patterns on there and they're all really reasonably priced. And they are stitching up fairly quickly. Despite the fact that my progress is really slow, they do stitch up really quickly. So yeah, that's that one. This is my only needle minder at the moment. It's a little beehive and I forget, it was gifted to me, so I don't know where they got it from. And I actually forget who gave it to me. It was a couple of years ago now. But it's the only needle minder I currently own, but I do have an order coming from Jeannie at Minding My Minders. It was dispatched today, so I'm very excited. But it probably won't be here for at least a week, because it's coming from the States. But as soon as that comes, I will do another video and show all of those off, because I have about 8 coming. So I'm very excited, because then every single project will have one. So that's that one. And the other project that I'm working on is actually, it's another online chart, but it is a freebie. It is Yoshi's Island Guys by Spin Until You Fall, and it's a free downloadable pattern from spritestitch.com. And this is actually the pattern that I taught my boyfriend to cross stitch with. He's a massive gamer, just like me. And he really wanted to learn how to cross stitch after seeing my Mario project. And I said, okay, well, we'll try and find something that is going to interest you, because then you're actually going to want to stitch. So this is the one that he chose. So I decided to start stitching it along with him. That way, if he got stuck anywhere, I'd know exactly where he was in the pattern. He took to it like a fish takes to water, or a duck takes to water. And I'm sorry, my glasses are glaring slightly. And he actually got way more progress done than I did, because that was back in January, and he had this whole guy stitched and this one stitched, and I literally just had his 2 shoes up until last week. So all the rest of this is progress from last week and this week, because I'm determined to see this finished, because he's only got this guy left to do. But he hasn't touched it since January, because he started 2 more projects since then. So I'm determined to get it finished before he does. So hopefully I'll get that finished this week. I'm actually going to my nan and granddad's house for a couple of days this week. So hopefully I should get some stitching time in and I should get that one finished. So those are my 2 whips. And now I have an awful lot of stash acquisitions to show off. Quite a few of them, a lot of other people have been showing off on their videos, so I'm not going to say too much about them. But there are a few things that maybe you guys haven't seen before, which would be quite interesting. But first up is the ones that everyone's been showing off lately. It is the Just Cross Stitch 2015 Halloween issue. I used to get these every single year from about 2009, or for at least as long as they've done the Halloween ones, I've been getting them, as far as I'm aware. I joined kind of it was a stitch along, but it was like an annual year-long stitch along from a blogger that I know, and it was called the Stitch from Stash Stitch Along, and it was basically you put yourself on a stash buying diet. So I didn't get any stash for the entire time that I stopped stitching. So for the entire 18 months that I didn't stitch, I did not buy a single piece of stash. I didn't buy a single magazine. I didn't buy any threads. I didn't buy needles. I literally bought nothing, which I think is also why my stitchy bug just kind of left, because there was nothing new, nothing exciting. I wasn't looking at shopping sites. I wasn't looking at 123 Stitch. I wasn't doing anything stitching related whatsoever. So anyway, so last month I bought the 2015 Just Cross Stitch Halloween issue, and I also bought the 2014 Just Cross Stitch Halloween issue. And then when I was looking through them all to decide how many of these things I actually wanted to stitch, I realised that I don't have the 2013 issue. So now I am desperately trying to find a website that still has the 2013 issue up for sale. If anyone knows of one, can you please put the link in the description? Can you please leave a comment telling me where I can buy it from? Because it's the one that I'm missing. And it bugs me. So I bought these 2. I also bought the 2015 Christmas ornament issue. And the 2014 Christmas ornament issue. And again, I don't have the 2013 one. I think I found a website that has it for sale, and if it's still up there on payday, then I will be buying it. But payday is not until the end of the month. And I don't have any money left to spend on stash because I've already bought stash this month. But I'll show that in a minute because it's a lovely... They're so lovely, and it's all getting ready for next year. And can you tell that I'm excited? Next up is I bought all of these, I will say, from either 123 Stitch, and then bought quite a big order because I have to justify the shipping from America because it's extortionate. It's not, it's very reasonable. Or from soandso.co.uk, which they're an okay website. They don't have as much in the way of patterns and that I would like, but... or as big a selection. They do tend to be very much the DMC kits and the Yankee kits, but that's fine. That's what we get in the UK, but that's fine. And I also got some threads from another UK store called patchworkrabbit.co.uk, and I tend to use them to buy my threads from, all my hand dyeds, or at least the Gast and the Weeks Dye Works, because they're fairly reasonable. And the shipping is very, very quick. So I can order something, and as long as I've ordered it before, I think it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, it'll be in the post that day, and I'm guaranteed to get it within 2 days, which is great. So yeah, that's where all of this will have come from. I don't really have an LNS. My local LNS, my LNS, my local needle workshop, is a bit more of an every kind of craft store. So they have a little bit of everything and an awful lot of nothing at the same time. They never really get anything new in terms of cross stitch. And from what I can gather, they're actually downsizing their cross stitch department because it doesn't make as much as the paper crafting or the decoupage or decoupage, whatever you want to call it. So it's kind of sad. I am kind of limited in terms of local resources, but again, it's fine. So anyway, back to the stash. Next up, I bought Country Cottage Needleworks Summer. I love this chart. It's so colourful and I can't wait to stitch it. I'm thinking it may be one of my Crazy January challenge starts, or I may start it at some point for Stitch Mania next year. I am still trying to work out what I'm doing with each one of my stitch alongs for that one. Next up is the Lizzie Kate limited edition Sweet Summer kit. This has actually been retired now because they've run out of this shell trim. So I kind of, the second she sort of announced it was retiring, I was like, I need this kit. This is the one that I need to buy. Again, I'm a massive Lizzie Kate fan. I love almost everything that she designs. So that's those. Excuse the crinkling. I've just realised I've got this in the wrong order. That's my stash from this month. Next up was another Lizzie Kate chart. It is another Lizzie Kate kit, sorry. It is the Jingle All the Way limited edition Christmas kit. Again, it's being retired because they've run out of this poinsettia, I think that's how you pronounce it, the fabric that was supplied with the kit they're running out of as well. So I rushed to pick that one up as well. I love all of her Christmas designs. This one I think was one I just kind of added to the cart to kind of justify the shipping from America. It is the Hand in Heart Joyful Journal March. I just think it's really sweet with all the little shamrocks coming out of the hat. I don't tend to buy the entire series of these kind of things. I just tend to buy the ones that really kind of speak to me for whatever reason. And this one was just because of the little shamrocks. Next up is another Hand in Heart one. It's a smidgen of Halloween. I love Halloween. My two favourite holidays are Halloween and Christmas, so the majority of my charts are Halloween and Christmas related. And yeah, I just thought it was a really fun little cute stitch. It comes with all the little buttons and beads that you need to finish it just there. And I will probably make it into some kind of hanging ornament, and the same with the March one as well. The next one is by Pine Mountain Designs, and it's Some See a Weed, Others See a Wish. And I'm planning on making quite a few changes to this one. I plan on stitching all of the dandelion seed tops with Krynic blending filament in like a glittery kind of one, just like a white one, just so it gives it a little bit of sparkle. And at the bottom of the seeds, rather than whole stitches, I'm planning on putting in some seed beads from Mill Hill, just so they kind of look more like seeds rather than stitches. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to doing that one. And I probably won't stitch it on this kind of natural colour. I've actually got a blue even weave that I've picked up, just a scrap from my local LNS, because they've kind of cut everything down to remnant sizes. And I think it'll fit on there, even if I have to do it like 1/1. So yeah, that's my plan for that one. Again, it's probably going to be one of my Crazy January starts. The Crazy January challenge, for those of you that don't know, it's normally 15 starts in 15 days. So the first 15 days of January, you start one new project every day. Because it's 2016 next year, I want to do the first 16 days. And then I'm also going to do an extra new start every week for New Year, New Start. The stitch along for Stitch Mania. So I'm actually going to have 20 new starts in the first 20 days. Across the whole of January. So that should be exciting. Next up is Country Cottage Needleworks ornament from the Classic Collection, and it is By the Chimney. I love the Night Before Christmas story, and I tend to buy an awful lot of patterns related to it, and this one is just really sweet with the little mantelpiece across the fireplace with all the stockings and that. So I will probably stitch this one up this year. I try and do a Christmas ornament for my tree every year. I didn't do one last year, and I think I missed 2013 as well, so I might do 3 this year to get me back up to my quota. And on that note, I bought another one, which was Dear Santa. This one was after seeing someone on Stitch Mania talking about how she does some lunchtime stitching in the car, and this was the chart that she was stitching, and I just thought it was really sweet. So yeah, hopefully I'll stitch that one up this year as well. As far as I can remember, they're all DMCs, apart from I think the red was a hand dyed. So it should stitch up really quickly as well. The next one I bought, I know I got from Patchwork Rabbit. It is a new to me designer, Madame Chantilly, and it is an Alice in Wonderland theme chart. And I just thought this was so sweet with all the different characters. And I love the little card guys in the bottom here. Oh, I've gone yellow again. Let's try it this side. No, it's just causing glare. I don't know what I've done. I've gone yellow again. But I love these little guys who are painting the roses red at the bottom. And it's always been my favourite song from the Disney version as well. So yeah, that's that one. I don't know what to do about the fact that the video's gone yellow again, but never mind, I will press on. Next up is one of the Year in Chalk designs by Hands On Design. Again, I've only sort of bought my favourite ones from this series. I'm not going to buy the entire series, but it's Hello Spring. And I apologise for the fact that it now looks really washed out and oddly coloured. But yeah, I think this one's really sweet. And I probably will stitch it as charted. I probably won't make too many changes to it. So I picked up April, which is Hello Spring. I've picked up October, which is Let Them Eat Candy. I love this with the pumpkins. As I said, I love Halloween. And the August one, Sleep Under the Stars. This one I may stitch for my friend Tracy from work. She has a camper van and they love going away in it. So I might stitch this for her birthday next year. So that's that one. We're nearly there, I promise. Next up is another Lizzie Kate limited edition kit. It is the Hoot Biscornu and Fob kit. I have a bit of a love-hate relationship with Biscornus. I absolutely love the way that they look. I don't like stitching the two sides, but I do love stitching them together to actually make the finished Biscornu. The only problem I have, I never know what to do with them afterwards. I've done quite a few of them for exchanges, and I've received quite a few of them back for exchanges, and I never know really what to do with them. They're all different sizes, so I have them kind of stacked one on top of the other in like a big tower, which is fine until my cat decides that it makes a really nice play toy and knocks them all to the floor. So yeah, I don't really know what to do with them, but this is a really nice design and I probably will stitch it up at some point. There's no rush. Next up, I have some threads from Patchwork Rabbit, and now that the colour on my phone has gone all screwy, this probably isn't going to show up very well. But I have the Gentle Arts Dragonfly. Let's see if I can find some paper. I'll use the back of this. So it's this really pretty, like, greens and browns. Just really, really pretty. I really like it. Then I have Cast Iron Skillet, which is just kind of a blacky grey colour. Kind of fixing the light. There. And Brown Bear, which is brown. Again, really sweet. So those are all by the Gentle Arts. And now I have some classic Colourworks. They're newer colours, I think they are. So this is Prairie Grass. It's like a pale sort of tan with a little bit of green mixed in, I think. That's what it looks like to me. And Sugar Plum, which is this really lovely lilac-y purple, which is looking really washed out, but I promise you it's really lovely, like sugar violet colour. I am not going to get that to show up properly. I'm sorry. And the last one is Shabby Chic, and it's this kind of like cream with a little bit brown in. And it's really nice, and it's really not showing up. But it's really, really pretty, and I have a few things that I'd like to stitch up with it, including possibly the chalkboard designs, because I kind of don't want them to look like brilliant white. So that's those. This one is actually from my local LNS. It's one of the few patterns they actually had left in stock, and it is Snowy Saint Nick by Dimensions, and I think he is absolutely stunning. He has all the detail of a normal Dimensions kit, but it's the chart, so it's a little bit cheaper. It called for number 8 Japan braid from Krynic in 002J, which is a gold, and it's used to make all the cording and do quite a lot of the backstitch work built in. And I have never done cording or couching threads down, so that I may do in January for the New Year, New Start stitch along, because it is something that is new to me. And it also has some gold Mill Hill beads in there as well, which I've already bought as well at the same time as purchasing the chart. So it seems a bit weird to be stitching a Christmas chart in January, but it will still be cold, and it will give me time to hopefully get it done by next January. By next Christmas, rather. So yeah, that's that one. My local LNS is really expensive as well. That was like £6 just for the chart. So it's like nearly $12. So yeah, I tend not to shop there too often because it is just cheaper to buy things from America, even with the shipping. But occasionally I do find something floating around in thrift stores, and I found this gorgeous pattern that I don't intend to stitch the entire thing, but it was 25 pence. So I'm not going to say no to that. And it is by a company called Fancy That, and it is Folk Art Bunny and Tree. So that's the whole thing. And that's the main design. It's this little bunny rabbit holding a little lemonade sign and a lemon on top of a lemon tree with like a tablecloth. And the only part I am intending to stitch is the rabbit, because I think he's so cute. I don't know if you can see him properly, but he has a little sign that says lemonade 5 cents, and I think he's really, really sweet. So I've bought all the threads that I need to stitch him as charted. And I found this really cute backing fabric that's kind of a gingham check in the sort of similar colours to his fur. And it has patchwork yellow rabbits printed all over it. So I'm going to stitch him and finish him as like a hanging pillow ornament maybe. And I'll back it with that fabric. So yeah, that's my plan for that one. I have about 7 minutes left of time to record, so I'm going to have to speed up a little bit. I recently bought some fabric from a company called Pole Stitches, which is POL Stitches, designs.co.uk, and they're my first proper hand-dyed even weave and linen. I think they're all even weaves. They're all 28 count Jobelin. I don't know if that's a linen or an even weave, so if someone can let me know in the description, because the whole higher count fabrics confuses the hell out of me. But I've bought them for 3 different Mirabilia charts, and I'm going to stitch every single one of them next year, and I'm very, very excited about it. So I will show you these very, very quickly. First up is Raindrops, which is a 28 count Jobelin, as I said. And I am stitching Mirabilia Stargazer on this one, so that's what she looks like. And these fabrics smell gorgeous, by the way. I don't know what they've sprayed them with, but they smell absolutely gorgeous. And this is the fabric. It's white mostly, with some flecks of blues and purples, and oh, the colours come back so I can show you. So that's that one. It still looks a little washed out, but the blue is actually quite, not bright, but it does show up really, really well. So that's that one. The only problem I have with pole stitches is they don't edge their fabrics before they send them, and I really wish they would, because it's already fraying like crazy. And I don't have a serger machine, so I'm not going to be able to serge the edges. So I need to figure out a way of doing it on the machine, the normal sewing machine, before it gets too bad. So that's that one. Next up is Stormy Seas, this one is called, and I'm going to be stitching in Emerald. I keep calling her Enchanted Mermaid, and she's not, she's Emerald Mermaid, but that's what she looks like. And this is absolutely gorgeous. I am so pleased with all of my fabric choices. There was a lot of agonizing that it was going to be right because these were expensive, but it is called Stormy Seas, and it's lots of blues and greens and a little bit of purple grey sort of mixed in, and it looks absolutely stunning, and it smells wonderful. So hopefully she's going to really, all those greens in her, and all the beads and everything is just going to pop on this fabric there. So that's that one. I have all of these kitted up already, by the way. I cannot wait to start them. I am trying so hard to be good. Next one is another fabric called Moonlight, and I'm going to be stitching Tiger Lily on there. I have had Tiger Lily, including the bead kit, since the day it came out, and I've always been so nervous to start her because I think she's stunning. And I knew that I wanted to stitch her on a higher count fabric, and I've never felt confident enough to do it. So I finally think like I'm there, I'm ready. So these ones will probably, these 3 Mirabilias and the Dimensions kit will probably be my once a week new start for January. For Stitch Mania, because they're all on even weave, and that's all new to me. So yeah, anyway, this is Moonlight, and when I first saw this, I'll fold this in half because you'll still see all of it. When I first saw this, I thought it was almost identical to Stormy Seas. When it was all folded up in the packet, it looked identical, but it's really not. This is much more pastel, and there's a lot more pink in this one. And then the green is just a lot less vibrant. It's more yellow and blue and pink, but it just looks absolutely stunning. And hopefully all the oranges on her skirt are really going to pop on this background. So there we go. That is all of my new starts. Those are my 2 whips, and as much of my stash as I can remember from having this month rather.